All right, we are back in Canada and we are now going to go to my dealership. I haven't been there in so long. It's been literally weeks, if not months. I've been in the Middle East, in California and Alberta and everywhere else. We're going to go meet some new staff that I've hired over the last couple of weeks. They've been at the dealership for the last couple of weeks, already working, getting onboarded and integrated. But anyways, let's go to the dealership. All right, we are here at Niagara Odometer, a really interesting business that a lot of exporters use to change their odometer before they, send their cars out for export. Even if you're sending a car to the Middle East, even if you're sending a car to America, metric system is not used every single place. So some countries obviously have miles, some have kilometers, but some countries, it's not even about miles and kilometers. They have different symbols for brakes, for handbrakes, for your parking brake, and that means those have to be converted in some cases, on the dash before they're sent to that country. So a perfect example, America. You can't send a vehicle to America. You can't export a vehicle to America unless the brake symbol is the same brake symbol as the one that's required in America, and the one in Canada is not the same. When you're sending cars to the Middle East, people prefer Canadian cars where they don't have to change the clusters over to kilometers as compared to, say, American vehicles where they show up in miles and then they have to get converted. Does that make sense? Anyways, Niagara Odometer is one of many very experienced odometer companies. You can see it right here, Niagara Odometers. They've been around forever and they're not simple, right? They're not just these analog things like they used to be in the past. They're now digital. They're very expensive. You can get thousands of dollars for certain odometers. You need specialty people like these guys to change those odometers or to convert them to the relevant standards or compliance standards for the country that it's going to. And why are they blocking it? Because they want to make it difficult. Cars, especially when it comes to newer cars or near new cars, just a couple of months old or just a couple of thousand kilometers old, this market is called parallel exporting. It's called the gray market exporting, which is, hey, Ford or Tesla is going to be officially as a company exporting Cybertrucks from America to, say, Saudi Arabia. And I have figured out that I can export cars that are Cybertrucks from America to the Middle East cheaper. And sometimes I can do it cheaper than the actual manufacturer, which is crazy. And that's true because a manufacturer is going to use a lot of systems, a lot of overhead, and probably more expensive shipping than me, who I'm just going to buy a brand new Tesla and use my broker, call them up, put it into a container, boom, it's there, much faster, much simpler, with a lot less overhead and cost. So then I can make the margin while Tesla still has to price the vehicle for $10,000, $15,000 more in that country. I don't have to charge that much, right? So that's called parallel exporting. Lexus did this recently, Lexus and Toyota. If you buy a Toyota Prius in Canada right now, brand new or even used, you personally bought it. You're not a company, you're not a dealership. You bought it brand new, you want to take it to America, it's becoming near impossible. Because one of the requirements, if you're doing a personal export, is that you get a manufacturer's letter of compliance. And Lexus and Toyota have recently just said, no, we're no longer going to be giving letters of compliance for Canadians who want to bring their car to America, which is crazy because, okay, I bought a car, I'm moving to America, my job is calling me there, why can't I import this car? Like any other vehicle I can, but for some reason, Toyota just doesn't want to give me a compliance letter, even though the vehicle is compliant. They're trying to just block people from exporting these by making it impossible for you to get a manufacturer's letter, which is crazy. I've got some new staff, Asif at the dealership, who we hired. He's been helping with a lot of the on-the-ground operations, a lot of the admin stuff. I'm going to go meet him for the first time right now. I want to expand his role a little bit, so I'm going to see him for the first time, which is exciting. Haven't seen Hiba in a long time. Hiba's our main coordinator of all of our deals at our dealership. She's going to be at the dealership right now. I know she's got some calls, so we'll go bug her for a little bit. We got Bilal, who is the guy that's holding this camera right now. Check this out. Can you turn it around? There you go, Bilal. And he's dressed up. Look at him. So haven't seen Bilal in a long time. He's been hired a couple of months, or maybe at least a couple of weeks ago. He's been at our dealership consistently making content. Now we are arriving at our Canadian dealership in St. Catharines, the one I really grew up at. I've been here for 17 years. This is our body shop, our mechanic shop. My marketing guys are just bugging me so much saying, yo, get some real life students. We don't believe you. You don't believe that they're teaching dealers, so I'm like, let me just get some of these guys on camera. So, Mahad, how long ago did you meet me?
About 4 to 5 months ago.
4 to 5 months ago. Okay.
Enrolled, I heard very good things. Had a couple people that were already enrolled in Sohail's course. One of them is my current business partner. So heard very good things, seen the results, built on that, and then realized a lot of connections. This whole business is built on connections and built on who, right? So I was like, what better way than to talk with someone who's been in the industry for a very long time,
So your business partner was already in my program, you're right.
Yeah.
He was already signed up and learning from us and learning car sales and doing deals with us. And then you didn't want to have to go through him every single time, so you literally said, I'm going to sign up with the program myself because I want direct access to Sohail and the mentors.
Exactly. And at that time I was also under 18, so I wasn't able to get my OMVIC. But then once I got my OMVIC, now I'm going to get the exam passed and then I can start submitting deals myself. Won't have to keep bugging my business partner every time to get those deals submitted, right?
It's crazy. So last 6 months, I mean, a lot has changed for you in the last 6 months. You've
100%.
got your OMVIC, which is your salesperson license. You've got your dealership license under works now. You end up, I think, renting a dealership lot now as well, right?
No, we rented a body shop, but we have all the parking, so we can basically make it a dealership lot. It's also zoned and everything as well.
What were you doing before I started teaching you the car business?
So I was doing rentals. So I would manage cars for people on Turo. I would rent out privately. I would flip cars on the side. I was always kind of just in love with cars. It was a passion, right? And then I was like, what? Let's take it legit. Let's do this full time, right?
So I mean, you had a head start because anybody who's already in the rental business already understands cars. For sure, being in the rental business and the car business gives you a huge advantage over other people who are just in the car business or just in the rental business.
Exactly.
You can make money in that car even when it's not selling. The people that are watching this video are thinking about joining the program. They're all ages. They're in America, they're in Canada, they're in Vancouver. Tell them a little bit more about either your hesitation before you joined and what it's now, and if you recommend it to other people. To speak freely, because I think they're going to make a decision based on some of the things they hear from you.
100%. So starting out, when I initially approached Sohail to get enrolled into the course, obviously I had some doubts in my mind. I was like, what, maybe there's an alternative way to get this done, which was going through my business partner and everything, right? But in the end, I realized that in the grand scheme of it, right, without risk, there's no reward, right? So if you always want to be going through someone, be under the food chain, then you're not really gonna make it to where you want to be, right? You just got to take the risk. Sohail's course provides you a lot of resources that you wouldn't be able to access without years in the industry, right? And getting into that early on, having those resources to leverage before you take a big step and start gambling with your money, thinking that you're in control, you'd rather have the expertise, have the resources, have everything you need to minimize mistakes, right? Although it's an investment up front, it's a long-term investment because of the mistakes you're going to be minimizing while being around all these people who've been in the industry, right? That's why I think it's 100% a no-brainer, because the money you're going to spend to take some losses, to learn from those, you have people who've already done it 10, 15, 20 times, right? So it's better to get enrolled with those people, have access to the knowledge, have access to all those people, build your connections, and then experiment that way rather than gambling and taking all those losses yourself, right?
And there's certain connections that you just wouldn't have gotten anyways otherwise.
100%.
Right? Like connections to certain software and certain banks and whatnot. I want to talk about the investment because you said you got to make the investment, it's not easy. On a scale of 1 to 10, how expensive was it for you when you first heard the number? Oh my gosh.
Obviously, it sounds a lot of money, right? But in the grand scheme of it, on one deal, you're clearing a third of that money right away, right? So
it's crazy. And how many deals did you do this month?
This month, we've done 5 deals easily.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly,
crazy.
right?
And how long do you have access to me for?
Lifetime.
Holy shit.
Come on, it's a no-brainer, guys. Come on.
Got too good of a deal. But honestly, we're going to end the lifetime program because it's too crazy. We need to be charging people, honestly, that amount at least annually.
100%.
To go forward.
There should be an annual renewal fee for this.
There should be.
100%.
Yeah. Good idea, man. The Digital Dealership Program is a program where we help car dealers modernize their dealership and we help salespeople become a digital dealer. Now, a digital dealer is a dealership that acts like a real estate agent, or a dealership that acts like a brokerage for real estate agents. Let me explain this a little bit more clearly with an example. A real estate agent finds the customer first and then qualifies the customer and then finds them the house that they want. Similarly, a digital dealer finds the customer first, qualifies them by maybe getting them approval for financing, or qualifies the kind of vehicle they want for the budget they want, and then finds them the vehicle and fills that order. So a digital dealer is not your traditional dealer. It's not your traditional dealership, and it's not your traditional salesperson. They're not buying cars, holding them on their lot, and then looking for the buyers afterwards. They're finding the customers first, and they're doing it digitally because they could do it nationally, they could do it provincially or statewide. It doesn't matter if the customer is within their city or not. So this model has proven to work. We're seeing people sell a lot more vehicles and retain a lot more profits, whether they're the dealership or whether they are the actual salesperson engaging in this model. Now, what this means is that you have less inventory costs. It means that you have an unlimited amount of leads, because in the digital dealership program, when we teach you lead generation, you'll realize you can be as busy as you want. It's just a matter of how big your team and your operations are. So that in itself is the digital dealership program, where we turn dealerships from traditional to digital dealers, and we turn salespeople from traditional salespeople to essentially real estate agents in the car dealership world. Do you need a dealership license to join our digital dealership program? No. A digital dealership works with existing car dealerships in partnerships, and that includes our own dealership, where you'll be having access to everything that you would if you had your own dealership. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't get your own dealership license. In fact, we will help you get your own dealership license in the process if that's what you want. But you don't need your own dealership. You don't need overhead. You don't need to spend all this money, not just getting a license, but maintaining a license, because you can use our license and our partnership licenses to do deals in the digital dealership program. So there are no excuses. The digital dealership program is for existing salespeople or people that have a lot of leads in the car dealership world. They have people that come to them and they ask them, hey, I need a car, can you help me out? Maybe you're a mechanic, maybe you're a service advisor, or maybe you're just a popular guy, or you're the car guy in your community or circle. It's also for existing car dealers who want to learn this model and implement it as a part of their dealership. So existing car dealers, new salespeople that are wanting to get in the industry, or existing salespeople and finance managers who are already in this industry for decades, or how many ever years that you've been a part of this industry. So that is who this digital dealership program is for. You need to pay for the program costs, which we'll tell you about based on your exact background, experience, and requirements. On top of the program costs, you need money to generate leads. Now, there's 3 different ways of generating leads. You can buy leads, you can run ads to run leads, or you can do lead generation for free organically, which we'll also show you how to do. So how much do you really need for that? Well, it depends on how busy you want to be. But the average lead will cost you from $30 up to $100 per lead. So if you want 10 leads, that means up to $1,000 of capital. So you do need a little bit of money to do lead generation. But now, again, it's not required. You could do free lead generation. In fact, that's what we recommend you start with, because there's plenty of ways with a little bit of effort that you can get free leads to start processing in the digital dealership program. And of course, like I said earlier, on top of that, you do need to pay for the program costs, which is the bulk of your initial investment to get into the program. I haven't been in Canada in almost 2 years, to be honest. At this dealership, I haven't spent more than a couple of weeks here at a time. But it's nice to be back. I'm going to spend at least the next 2 months here, set some things up. It's been a lot of changes, a lot of learning over the last 2 years. I'm finally going to have about 2 months to just kind of slow down and just implement a lot of what I've been learning. I'm going to implement at our own dealership now. So we don't sell physical cars at our dealership, even though we've probably got 40 cars here right now. A lot of this is just old inventory or student inventory, which is just kind of sitting here in transition, or in transition to be exported or sold somewhere else. There's a good chance that we're going to end up buying inventory for this dealership in the next 2 months and getting it restarted, putting some on-the-ground sales staff on top of our digital dealership program. So anyways, I'm excited to be back. This is day 1. It feels good, lots of work. Life of a dealership owner, you're doing everything. You're making videos, you're doing accounting, you're training staff, you're creating logins. There's a lot of things happening at once. This is exciting. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video at Car Dealership University at Momo Cars from Canada. All right, take care.